Okay, so once you've deleted the main web app deployment from WebLogic, we need to do one very important thing. We specified a listen address for the managed servers, but we did not specify one for the admin server. So when you have a domain where you've got a cluster with multiple managed servers, you must define a listen address. And you should be consistent with how you define that, either define it using a host name or defining it using an IP address. So since we've done it for the cluster members in the cluster, we also need to do it for the admin server. You will run across some network communication issues if you don't define a listen address. So let's do that. So under Environment, click on Servers, and then click on the admin server. And under listen address, go ahead and use the IP address that you've used for your other managed servers and click. And once you've defined that, go ahead and click Save. And you'll see this message at the top here that one item must be restarted for the changes to take effect. So go back to your terminal window and kill the admin server process. Now go ahead and restart it. Okay, so now that the admin server is up and running, take a look at the log output. Notice that there's only one network channel default thread here, and it's listening on the IP address. We no longer see any of the other addresses that we saw before, such as 127.0.0.1 or any of the other hardware or IPv6 addresses. So now that we've got the admin server up and running, we need to restart our managed servers to point them to the admin server using the new listen address, which is the IP address. So go ahead and do that now. I'm going to open up a new terminal window. And I've already killed my managed servers, so I just need to restart them. Okay, MS1 is now running. Let's go ahead and start MS2. Okay, open up another terminal window and start Managed Server 2. Okay. So Managed Server 2 is now running and listening on its IP address and ports. So let's go back to the admin console, and you'll have to log in again since we restarted the admin server. Okay, so now let's redeploy that main web app to the cluster. Click on Deployments, and then click on Install, and locate the original main web app exploded archive directory under the WL Server Examples build directory. So under Lab Home, Applications, WL Server Examples, then Build, and there should be a main web app directory in here that we can deploy. So check the radio button next to that and click Next. Install it as an application and click Next. Now go ahead and target the application to Demo Cluster and click Next. So on the security and staging settings, accept the defaults for the security model and for the staging mode and click Finish. Okay, so once the application is deployed, as you're familiar, this application launches a pop-up, the home page. I now have 2 new browser tabs with the application because we have 2 managed servers, so we deploy the application. We've got 2 running instances of the application, which is why I have 2 new browser tabs. If I click on the address bar, note the port 8002. Click on the other tab and click on the address bar 8003. So this is MS1 and MS2. So I now have a clustered application.